be read a third time. Mr Deputy Speaker, it has been an immense privilege to be a part of the campaign that has brought this bill to its third reading today. In particular, I of course want to pay tribute to my honourable friend, the member for Coventry North West, who has provided real leadership throughout the promotion of this bill. He and I have sat through many meetings and many committees together, and it has been his focus and his determination to lead us to this point where we have today an opportunity to do something very worthwhile. So I know that I speak for all of the House when I wish him a very speedy recovery from his recent operation. I also want to take this opportunity to pay tribute to other members who provided outstanding support, and in particular my honourable friends, the members for Newport West, Sunderland Central and Don Valley, and the honourable member for North Devon, as well as many other honourable members, who, too numerous to mention, right across this House, who have worked collectively together to get us to this point today. I also do want to take the opportunity to pay tribute to Trinity Mirror. Their contribution to this campaign has been very significant, and I am grateful for everything that they have done. I would particularly like to thank Alison Phillips, Andrew Gregory, Michelle Klepper, as well as Paul Miller and Owen Pritchard for their commitment to this important cause. And in the spirit of paying tributes and to give credit where it is due, I am looking very firmly at the Minister, who has responded in the most sensible, cooperative and constructive way. We have sat in a lot of meetings over many, many months. She has been an absolute pleasure to work with, and the leadership that she has shown has been instrumental in ensuring that we have the opportunity to pass this very important bill today. I do want to take this opportunity to place on the record my thanks to her, but also to her officials, who've all done a very important job in getting us to where we are at this moment. I'm also grateful, and I have to say a little bit relieved, that we can also rely on the support of both the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. And I'm absolutely determined to ensure that we maintain the consensus that we have within the House to pass the reading of this third bill and send it safely to the other place. At this point, Mr Deputy Speaker, I want to reflect just for a moment on why I think that this bill is so important. The bottom line, of course, is that this is a bill that will save lives. But it is important to note that of all the people who died in the UK last year, only about 1% died in circumstances that would have made a donation possible. This means that even though hundreds of thousands of people across the country are registered as potential donors, only a small handful will ever be in a situation that would allow a donation to take place. This is one of the main reasons why today in the UK there are thousands of people waiting for an organ donation, and why every year hundreds of people will die waiting. This loss of life is devastating, but it is not inevitable. So today we have the most precious of opportunities to save lives and to give hope to many. And we must not miss that opportunity. Mr Deputy Speaker, I believe that moving to an opt-out system for organ donation, like the one they have in Wales, will add thousands of names to the donor register, meaning that once the bill is passed, hundreds of lives could be saved. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, let me tell you what this bill is not about. This is not about the state taking control of people's organs or shaming people into donating. If people do want to opt out, that is absolutely fine, and I am entirely respectful of any decision of anyone, for whatever reason, so to do. No questions will be asked, and there will be no hard feelings. But this bill is about making it easier for those who might wish to donate to do so. The current system requires people to take the time to discuss this most serious and difficult matter with their loved ones in order to reach a judgment about whether, in the event of some tragedy occurring, they would want their organs to be donated. I think it is incredibly important that if people feel that they can have that conversation with their loved ones, that they do so. Because we must understand, and we will understand, I'm sure, that many of us, frankly, are guilty of not having had these conversations and of putting this important task on hold. So I believe that we can no longer afford to ignore this issue, that we must seek to increase the number of people on the donor register, and that we must make sure that we save as many lives as we can. And I believe that this bill provides an important way to do that. That said, I do acknowledge that the bill is only a part of the way to increase the number of people who are willing and able to donate their organs. So, in concert with this bill, I think it's very important that we also need to have an open discussion with our families and in our communities about the importance of making a contribution in this way. I'm delighted to give way to the right honourable friend.
I'm thoroughly supportive of this bill. I think it can have a transformative effect in helping to save lives in our country. And does he agree with me that actually one of the times these conversations should be had is in school, so that children grow up understanding the role that they can play in helping to save other people's lives, and that we encourage young children from quite an early age to think about becoming organ donators. And this power of inertia he's talking about, I think, can make a big difference for good.
To my right honourable friend, I think she makes a very important point. I think none of us here who are here to support this bill believe that in its own right it is a silver bullet that will solve the problem that we are encountering. It isn't, and therefore it does need to sit alongside some very important conversations, some difficult issues, and many of us will feel potentially quite uncomfortable about seeking to have these important conversations. But I think it is important, and as my right honourable friend rightly says, from the earliest possible opportunity, that these are conversations we are having with our loved ones, so they are absolutely clear about what our intentions would be. And I thank my right honourable friend for making that important point. She's absolutely right to do so. I think the point that my right honourable friend has just made reinforces the notion that in addition to the legislation that we're seeking to bring forward today, all of us who believe in the value of organ donation should seek to ensure that as many people come forward to register as organ donors as is absolutely possible. And I think this bill serves as another important opportunity to raise the profile of that particular issue and to provide another opportunity, a platform if you like, for us to be having these conversations with our loved ones. And I think as leaders within our communities, I think that we do have an important role and a responsibility to play in seeking to encourage people to have those conversations as well. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, I'm conscious that time is relatively short. It is not my intention to detain the House for very much longer, as I'm very keen to make progress with this. But I do want to take this opportunity to say a final word of thanks to Max Johnson, to Max's mother, Emma, and to the whole Johnson family. Many honourable members will recall that Max is the 10-year-old who fronted the Daily Mirror's campaign on organ donation. He is an exceptional young man. Honourable members will be aware that he was kept alive by a tiny metal pump that was in his chest for 7 months. I'm absolutely delighted to see that after finally receiving a heart transplant, Max is doing well and has been given a chance to live a relatively normal life because of a donation that was made by a donor, Kira Ball. And I believe that Kira Ball and her family should serve as an inspiration to us all. And I would like to take this opportunity to request, and I'm very sure that the Honourable Member for North Devon will be happy to do this, to pass on to the family of Ciara Ball our collective thanks to them for the bravery and the dignity and the example that they have set. It has been an inspiration to us all, and I would personally like to extend my thanks to the Honourable Member for North Devon for the very dignified way in which he's represented his constituents over a number of debates in this House. So, Mr Deputy Speaker, quite simply, we are here today to save lives of people like Max, but also of thousands of other people who would benefit from the change that this bill will set out. And we have quite a rare opportunity at our fingertips to take this opportunity to make this powerful and meaningful change. So I hope very much that we do not miss the opportunity and that this bill goes forward and that we take the opportunity to save lives. I hope honourable members will seek to support it. Thank you.